I'm here at Glentress. I've got my DV8 Claymore mullet set up, ready to go. I'm going to be riding the jumpy trails again, but I'm hoping that I'll be bringing the speed up a bit now. My leg's feeling a little bit better. And as the speed's going up, I'm going to have to start making some adjustments to my Olin suspension, as I set it up for when I was going quite slow, so it's really soft and forgiving. But as the speed starts to pick up, I'm just going to have to make a few adjustments, and I'll talk you through that today, as hopefully the speed picks up throughout the day. But we'll see about that. Something that's really important to keep consistent while you're fiddling with suspension settings is your tyre pressures. So for me, I'm running 19 on the front, and on the back I've got 25. That's kind of normal for me, because I quite like it soft on the front and a little bit firmer at the back for sliding the back wheel around. But anyway, keep those tyre pressures consistent if you're fiddling with your suspension. 220-ish, 220 in the ramp up chamber, and then I'm running about 110 in the positive chamber. So for compression, I've got so the black one's got 3 clicks, that's high speed compression. I've got that fully open, so fully undone. Low speed compression is the little blue dial, and I have that also fully undone. That was my setup from the other day when I was first getting going. And then if we go down to the rebound, yeah, we've got that fully open as well. So all of the dials are fully open, full high, full speed, full open, just as soft as it can be. So that's how I'm going to start the day, and then each run I'll maybe fiddle with it a little bit, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. For the shock as well, by the way, I've got a 500-pound spring on there. That's I've basically always used the 500. I tried a bit harder, a bit softer. I basically, for my weight, about 80, just over 80 kilos, 500 pounds seems to be perfect. Reband, I've got that 2 clicks from fully open, so not full speed, 2 clicks from full speed. And then compression, high speed and low speed, I've got both of those fully open. So that's how I'm starting the day. All my compressions and stuff just fully open, my usual pressures, and then as the runs go on, if I manage to pick up the speed a little bit, maybe I'll add some compression. I'll talk you through it as it's happening. So let's head to the top of the first track. Here we go. Twitcher, first run. Where the conditions look perfect. So the front's sitting down a little bit. Back's feeling solid, but the forks are definitely not coming up as much as I'd like. The track is bumpy. Oh, it's so loose. The fine chatter feels really good. I'm not getting much feedback on that. And it's really stable in the jumps. Oh, but the track is loose. Definitely more confident than the last time I was riding. Yeah, so it's in the long, slow compressions on the turns. That's where I seem to be feeling the most. Yeah, boy. Yeah, the long, slow compressions in the long turns is where I'm feeling the forks are sitting a little bit low in travel. But I'm really happy with how they're reacting to the small bumps. So to fiddle with that, with the bump. Oh, that's so good. So just before I pedal up to the next section of red, it was the forks in the long, slow, so like going around the berms, I felt like they were just starting to sit a little bit low in the travel. So to hold them up a little bit, I'm just going to go for 4 clicks, see how that feels. 4 clicks of low speed, just help hold them up. A suspension is like a really personal thing. Like, some people love it fast, some people love it slow, some people like it like solid, some people like it super soft. So I'm just discussing like how I like to run it. You might like it completely different, so I wouldn't take what I'm doing and just do that straight to your bike. I wouldn't set your suspension up same pressure, same compression as me, because my riding style and your riding style is probably pretty different. So I'd recommend is just going out and doing a ride like I'm doing now, where you try everything open, maybe try everything like closed, and then you'll get a feeling for what settings do what to the suspension, and then you can fiddle from there. But I definitely recommend having a day where you just spend it finding out what you like, because you might like it really fast, you might like it a little bit slower, you might like it really stiff, you might like it not so stiff. If I was it's out of season now, so I'm just riding for fun. But if I was in the build up to like the race season, for example, I would be like fiddling with the suspension, and I'd be using a stopwatch. So every time I'm fiddling with suspension, I'd be doing a timed run, so that I'm getting that like sort of race replication, like a fake race basically. And then I'll change the settings, do another timed run, and then not only have I got like, how did it feel, but also did it affect the time? Because sometimes weird suspension setups are actually faster, and you might not be like, oh, that was amazing when you're riding. You might be like, oh, that just felt kind of weird. But occasionally when it's like that, you get to the bottom, you look at your time and you're like, whoa, that was faster. So using stopwatch can be really helpful for like tuning, getting rid of your personal feelings out of getting a faster setup. But if, like I am now, you're just riding for fun, all you're trying to do is make your suspension as comfortable as it can be for the way you ride. And for me right now, a few more clicks of low speed, I think I'll just hold my suspension up a bit more in the corners, and that'll allow me to just ride through the corners without feeling like I'm just like folding onto the front wheel. So gonna ride this next bit of red and see if these changes have made any difference. Oh, I'm so out of breath. I'm at like 168 heart rate pedaling up this small hill because I'm chatting way too much. That's me at the top of Smells Like Tweed Spirit now. I'm hoping that my 4 clicks of low speed is just gonna hold that front end up a little bit, make the bike feel a little bit more balanced for me. So here we go. Smells Like Tweed Spirit. First time riding this since I broke my leg. Should be fun. Leg's feeling great actually, thanks for asking. Oh, up the inside. So in that corner, I definitely felt like, oh, bumpy stuff's still a bit rough on the old leg. So in these faster corners, those few clicks of low speed I feel are actually holding the front end up nicely. So that was a good change. Oh, this is a fun track. Oh, that's the loose corner. Ooh. Deceptive, these jumps. You think you're going too slow and you end up going quite deep. The bike's holding up really balanced now. Like I want to fiddle with the suspension more, but this is actually feeling really good. Case the life out of that. There we go. That felt amazing. Oh, it's so good to be riding a bit more normal again. My leg's like coping with it well. It doesn't appreciate when I case these jumps, but it's holding up better in the corners and stuff. And my 4 clicks of low speed, just enough to get the forks holding up nicely again. Usually you'd ride the same track again before coming to conclusion on suspension, so I'll pedal back up and I'll do the top section again. I'll do switcher again and I'll leave it on this setting, and I'll try and compare it directly, see how it feels. This is the little bottom section. This will be good fun. Let's go. Oh, it's bumpy. Oh, it's so bumpy. So this is good because this is making me feel like the suspension's doing well on these little bumps. Not much feedback in the hands or feet or anything like that. because sometimes if you add too much low speed, it's easy for the suspension to start feeling a little bit stiff. Oh, I got a bit something in my eye. Nice! Here we go, back at the top of Twitcher. Let's see how a couple clicks of low speed help the bike. I can already feel it. The forks are staying way higher in the travel, which is very nice. Oh, it's so bumpy. Trying to get inside some of the holes. Sliding around, it is nice and dry. What a treat. Oh, that bit of extra low speed has made a world of difference. Stay on the loose. Stay high, avoid the bumps. Yeah, the forks are sitting really nice. The bike's quite balanced now. Trying to remember how to jump. This is my first time doing jumps, like proper jumps. So much fun. Those sorts of drops to flat are still a bit uncomfy. Yeah, boy. Oh, terrible line choice. Ew. That was really good. So the forks were still really supple, which means that I know that I haven't put too much low speed on, because if you put too much low speed on, you can lose a little bit of the sensitivity. But they weren't squashing down on the travel in the turns, so the low speed's doing its job and holding the forks up in those longer, slower compressions. Top tip: if your forks are feeling like a little bit harsh and they're like bogging down in the corners, it might also be your reband. My reband's at full speed, so I know that it's not that I've got my reband too slow, and that's why I can focus on something like low speed compression. But if you run your reband a bit slower and you're finding that it's bogging down in the turns, but by adding any low speed you're just making your forks harsher, then you should try speeding up your reband a little bit, because that might just help hold your front end a bit higher in the turns. It just lets your forks recover from the bumps as well. So top tip. Now onto round the blue. Turn and burn. Here we go. Let's see what difference 4 weeks makes to my riding. Definitely a little bit more confident. Can stand on the pedals a bit better as well. Not ready for that double. Ew. Not ready for the big doubles, but manual in them's not too scary. Yeah, boy. Oh, this looks like a good step down. Not got the confidence for doing the big jumps and gaps and stuff, but I'm enjoying trying to manual them. And my cornering technique's still terrible. Legs managing to deal with like slightly higher speed compressions a bit better now, so I can go around corners a little quicker. I wouldn't say fast, but not as slow. Ew. This track is so much fun. Let's keep cruising to the bottom. that was so good. That blue is a lot of fun. I feel like I'm getting closer to wanting to do those doubles. I think my speed's actually getting pretty close to being able to do them, but oh, it just takes that a little bit more confidence just to want to pull up on those sorts of things. Back at the top. This time I think I'm going to do this little natural red trail. I rode it a few weeks ago when I was first riding my mountain bike, and it was really hard to ride because I was terrible, as it was my first time on a bike in 6 months. But hopefully today it'll feel a little bit better. My suspension setup that I've fiddled with on those tracks, by fiddled with I mean I just added a little bit of low speed. It'll be interesting to see how it fares on something a little bit more natural, where the speed's maybe a little bit slower. I'll maybe want, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. I might want it a little bit softer for this sort of stuff. Or it might just be perfect. Let's find out. Here we go. Ride this little natural red trail. Oh, nice and high. A bit more confident than I was last time on this trail. Ew. Whoa, front wheel sliding. Oh, it's actually really loose. I wanted to ride that high line last time, but I didn't have the confidence. Oh, it's loose. Well, where am I going? Riding over everything. A little climb here. It took me forever to get up last time because I couldn't do a stand-up pedal, but it's hardly anything when you can stand up. Oh goodness. Oh, it's loose and flat, this one. The corners are sketchy. Oh, nice grassy high line. Dodge the slippy roots and try and manual down to the, yeah boy. Oh, there's a black that way. Or do I keep riding down this red? Lombard Street. I'll keep riding down the red. Behave myself. Definitely more comfortable now. I can ride a little bit quicker. Ooh, high line. Oh, onto a flat, rubbly turn. These turns are so difficult to ride fast, as you can tell. Also, I'm not that confident about dabbing my foot yet, so I've got to try and ride the feet up, which is good practice. Taking your feet up all the time is not sensible. Woo. Lombard Street, that was good fun. Suspension? It's interesting. I could feel that because the trail was slightly slower, I almost wanted the suspension to be a sniff softer. But I could also tell on the spots where I picked up my speed that the suspension was perfect. So it was more of a case of I just needed to ride faster for the suspension to feel perfect, as opposed to changing settings for that track versus that track, which is interesting. So if your suspension feels bad, just ride faster. That's my conclusion. Cruise down Harry's Blue. Cruising. What a day. Look at that sun. That is a rare treat. Ooh, I think I'm going to treat myself and ride up to the to Castle Black. A little treat. Case some jumps. Hopefully not case jumps, because case and jumps is the most uncomfortable thing for my leg right now. But ride some slightly bigger jumps. Should be fun. Oh, I can't believe I just done that. Well, that's not what. Oh my god. Oh, well, what I was about to say I'm about to ride Castle Black, but then I fell over it. As you can see, I'm not very good at unclipping yet, so that was incredibly embarrassing. I'm going to need a minute to emotionally recover from that before I drop into Castle Black, so give me a second. Okay, now that I've emotionally recovered from that embarrassing incident, let's ride Castle Black. Let's go! Oh, this is good. It's just rough enough to be exciting. And the caps are just spicy enough that they're right at the edge of my comfort zone. Oh, it is bumpy. Is this a gap? I was a bit scared there. Oh, as you can tell, I'm not comfortable with jumping the big jumps just yet. The corners and stuff they're all fine. I don't mind the tech, because with the tech you can slow right down. But the big jumps, you have to hit them flat out. Oh, dribble into this bottom section. Oh, I don't like how wet it is. I was dry until now. Phew. Yeah, boy. Oh, it's loose. Oh, getting a bit kicked about by the big rocks. Oh, there's another jump. Almost looped out on that. Haven't got the manuals dialed in just yet. Oh, I can't believe I fell over at the top. How embarrassing. I think that's probably a good sign to call it and head back to the van. If my leg's so tired I can't even unclip when I'm stationary, then I should probably chill out and ride in the trails. So, head back to the van. There we go! The secret sauce to my setup today. 4 clicks of low speed compression on the forks. Don't touch the shock. Perfect. Probably didn't need a whole video to talk about that, but it was pretty easy for me to get my bike set up. To be honest, on a track like that, up at Glentress, where it's basically just sort of bumpy, but you want a stable ride, you're looking at just supple and stable, and there's nothing fine about that. There's no like incredible changes to setup you need to make. But when you're riding on the more interesting, the more technical trails, the slightly more exciting stuff, that's where you start really fiddling with suspension to get like the perfect amount of traction and stuff like that. So stay tuned, hopefully I ride some stuff like that. If you've got any questions about any of my stuff, any of the setup, or if you want to see anything in particular, if you want to see how I set up my bike for like a specific type of trail, let me know. I'll go out, I'll find that trail and maybe make a video on exactly how to set up for that, or I'll just answer you in the comments if it's a simple question. Look at this, I'm getting blinded by sun, that is not normal. Thanks for watching. There's a subscribe button somewhere around here, make sure you give that a little click, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheerio.